So that shiny new game just came out, Borderlands 4, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for about 3 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. Here's a very quick overview. I personally like the game so far, and also the performance isn't the best currently on release. I've tried the previous Borderlands games, but I could never really get into any of them. I played about 1 to 3 hours of every previous game, but I just didn't really enjoy them. Now with this game, it feels a bit different. I mean, it's very similar in most ways, but the biggest difference has got to be the map. The map is way more open and not as constrained as before. I like this way more as it feels more like a place to be explored now. Okay, so to begin the game, you have a cutscene, but I'll just give you the important bits. The narrator explains that on planet Kairos, Timekeeper, who is the ruler of the planet, controls everyone's minds. He's also immortal because of alien technology, and he also owns a vault. That vault may just be the reason for his power. During this scene, 4 characters get captured, and then you'll get to choose your character of those 4. They each have their own powers and abilities, of course. I'm not going to list all of those, but each character has 3 action skills and 3 skill trees for those skills. I chose the character Vex, and she can summon helpers to attack. I briefly tried each action ability for her and decided to focus on Phase Familiar. I chose that action skill because there's a big cat named Trouble that is permanently spawned. The other 2 abilities were more limited on time, so I liked having the one that had Trouble out permanently. Trouble attacks on its own, and there's some more things that you can do with it, but let's move on. Timekeeper is talking to your character, and I'm not sure if it's a projection of Timekeeper or not, but he installs a device into your character that will control you, but then immediately after, a Vault Hunter explodes into the room, says he's with the Crimson Resistance, and gives you a gun. Now you can actually play the game. I'll summarize a lot of the story. So you'll fight a boss kinda at the end of this area, and then you'll be blown into the water, and when you wash ashore, Claptrap is there, and is apparently the leader of the Crimson Resistance. I then did a few missions for the Resistance, and I gained a base of operations. Oh, and you can teleport to certain locations using the map. Let's talk a little about the guns now. I don't know much about the previous game's guns, as I didn't get too far into any of them, but this game likes strange fire modes for weapons. A simple automatic weapon is not as common as you'd think. The most common fire mode was burst fire, followed by single fire, a shot that can be charged, and then automatic. At least that was my experience based on the guns that I found. I like the automatic and single fire weapons the most, and I don't really enjoy burst fire or the charging weapons that much. I felt that SMGs had the better automatic firing compared to the assault rifles, and for the single fire weapons, I was actually starting to really like the sniper rifles. You also have grenades that you can throw, or even throwing knives if you find them, and then you have shields that you can find and equip as well, just like previous games. One thing I kept having an issue with while looting though was inventory space. You don't really have that much, but that is something that can be upgraded. So besides upgrading your character's skills, there's a storage deck upgrade. Here you can choose to upgrade either how much ammo you carry for a certain type, inventory space, or a couple other things. I'd say exploring in this game is worth it. You'll find some guns, shields, and different grenade types, though I feel like there's way too much ammo. I'd say a good 70% of every crate or box I opened is just ammo, which kinda sucks. On the bright side though, I always have a lot of ammo. Besides looting in general, enemies you kill will also drop the same items that I just said. A bit later in the game, I unlocked a Digi Runner, which is a vehicle that you can use to move around the map. It reminds me of playing Star Wars Outlaws and using that speed bike. It's pretty similar. This Digi Runner can shoot too. There's also a few vending machines that you'll come across that sells ammo, weapons, shields, and other health items, just like in previous games, and you can sell your items there too. When I got off the game, I had quite a bit of money, and it was still racking up. I didn't really spend much of it though, and I saw I had another purple currency, Iridium I think it's called. I haven't found a use case for that yet, but I'm still in the early stages of the game, so I'm sure I'll find something to spend that on somewhere. Same with the normal currency. I'm sure I'll unlock more things to buy with that later on. So far, gameplay wise, I'd say this is a pretty enjoyable game to play. The story isn't drawing me in that much, but it's not bad. Hopefully I'll get more into it the more I play, and I do plan on playing more and beating this game, as the gameplay is pretty fun. The one bad thing that I'm seeing online is that a lot of people are having issues with performance, crashing, stuttering, or low FPS. I didn't crash myself, but I did have a little bit of stuttering and low FPS in general, but I was trying to play in 4K, and it seems like this game isn't that optimized currently. This is just an opinion, but based on the feedback that I'm seeing, it seems like if your PC is generally 4K capable, then for this game you'd probably want to play at 1440p for a good experience. I did stick with 4K though, but I'm really hoping performance gets better in future updates. My experience has been on PC though, so consoles could possibly run better. I'd say if you're a huge Borderlands fan, sure, get the game, but manage your expectations with the quality settings and resolution. If you're just mildly interested, then I'd say wait for some performance fixes glitches, and then get the game. I do like this game more than any other Borderlands game, and I do think that this game is worth trying out if the performance is addressed. All in all, it's a pretty good game, and you should keep an eye on it, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.